there, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if it is your first time here. My name is Erin and I make videos about what I get up to here in my sewing room, as well as any knitting and cross stitch I do. Plus in my monthly makes videos, I do talk about the best books I read in that month. This is my September 2025 makes video, so you'll be getting a little bit of all of that, I think. Let's get into it. In terms of garment sewing, I only made a couple of things and I think they basically all are gonna end up with their own videos. I made a couple of Project Dress a Girl dresses. I'm not gonna make a video on that. I used the Oliver & S Popover sundress pattern. It is free, there are tutorials out there, and I actually made some kits for my local quilt shop and did a little class so that people could come and sew them. Some people just got the kit and sewed it and dropped it back off. So I sent those off, and then I made what you currently see me wearing, which is the Mile End sweatshirt from Closet Core. I also made matching shorts from Simplicity 9691, which is this pattern. I did the shorts view, but shortened them quite a lot. I'm gonna make a separate video on this loungewear set. I also am making an activewear set that coordinates with it, so it's a whole vibe, look, very niche thing in my wardrobe, but will serve a really good purpose. And that should be coming out on the channel next week, so keep an eye out for that. Subscribe if you are interested in seeing the whole look. The other thing I put a lot of time into during September was my Belle woven dress. That is a Style Arc pattern. That was my 4th subscription box from the subscription boxes that I made myself, and I love it. I still have not worn it. I've not had a date yet, but hopefully towards the end of this month we'll have like a really nice date that I can get dressed up for and wear that, because it is amazing. It's a magical dress. There's not really much to do fit wise, really, but it looks so good on so many people because of the shirring at the back and because of the way the gathering makes space for the bust, things like that. I'm sure there are adjustments that need to be made for some bodies, but it is a really nice flattering dress without a bunch of darts and fitting and an invisible zipper and stuff like that. So excited to wear that when I have the opportunity to wear it. I just look at it in my closet every now and then because it's really, really, really pretty. So I have a whole video on that already. And that does it for the garment sewing for the month of September. That was it, you guys. I did spend some time sewing other things. So let's talk about those 2 non-garment things that I sewed. The very first thing I actually sewed in September was my daughter's backpack for school. She started very part-time pre-K. She's 3, but she goes a couple mornings a week and she needed a backpack for that. Now I told myself earlier in the summer when I knew she was gonna need a backpack and she was Frozen obsessed, I told myself, I'll just buy her a Frozen backpack. It's fine. I'm just gonna buy it. I'm not gonna make it. Well, we went to meet the teacher and then we had a little school list and we went to Target to buy the stuff. And I looked in one store for 3 whole minutes and was like, I don't see what she needs. I'm gonna make it. Because obviously, I knew I was gonna end up there. I don't know why I didn't do it earlier, but whatever. So this was a couple weeks before school starts, so I had time. I initially started with the idea of custom ordering fabric that was Frozen-ish. I wanted a hardy fabric, right? Because it's gonna be a backpack, but finding licensed stuff is really hard, especially when Joanne's gone now, and in anything other than a quilting cotton, basically, or flannel. It's really hard to find licensed fabric. So I was gonna find like the colors and stuff, or like inspired by Ice Queen type things, and then put some patches on it. That went really off the rails, because then I was like, well, she likes a lot of different things, and I floated the idea to her, once again, 3 years old, of picking different patches to put on a plain backpack. So she did. We browsed Etsy, we picked out a bunch of patches, and then she said she wanted it to be hot pink. She wanted a hot pink backpack. I saw that coming. So I ordered from a website that I had not used before, an online store called Wonderground Fabrics. They will be linked below. They're based out of Florida, if I remember correctly, and it seems to be primarily bag making supplies, but they had a pretty decent selection from what I remember. I was mostly looking for bag making stuff and I found everything I needed, so that was nice. Continuous zipper tape and webbing and everything that I needed from there. And I made, okay, I stayed up way too late, till like 2 in the morning making this, which is way later than I stay up. way later than I stay up. Her backpack. It's just Wally. Oh, love Wally. Mike Wazowski waving hi. And then this is a character from Bluey. Everyone else is Disney Pixar. That's a character from Bluey. She really wanted Coco for some reason. I don't know. Once again, I was letting the 3-year-old run the show. That's on me. But this is her backpack. And now, if you've been watching the channel over the summer, you may be saying, but Erin, where's Elsa? Isn't she obsessed with Elsa? She is. Was. I don't know. We've moved on to Moana. But I have half an Elsa costume made for Halloween. So like, we're going to see how that plays out. We did order an Elsa. It arrived late. Like, she had been in school for 2 or 3 weeks. So we have an Elsa. And I could add her. My daughter's idea was to put her on the back, because that's the only place there's space for her. This is big, like a lot larger than I was expecting. But I really like how it's just Mike Wazowski waving back there. So with the Frozen thing kind of on its way out the door, I've decided to not push it. And right now, Elsa just lives in the front pocket of the backpack. I did this rainbow webbing. This continuous zipper tape is rainbow. And then this is actually kind of cute. This hardware right here, the plastic, is from her diaper bag. When her diaper bag like completely fell apart. And so I just took the straps off of it, thinking I could use those at some point. And then when I was making this, I was like, oh, I can use the strap, the hardware from her diaper bag. So that was cute. So that's what it looks like. On the inside, I just have, it's all black. And like I said, both of the fabrics are from Wonderground Fabrics. The pink is a waterproof canvas, as is the black, I want to say. I'll double check and put it here because I should have checked before I started filming, but we're here. I will link everything down below if I can. The pattern is the Noodlehead Making Backpack. I made this pattern more than 1.5 years ago, also for my daughter, but I made it in the mini size because they have a mini size and a regular size. And the mini size was perfect for her going to like child watch at the gym or for us going out on our little adventures. Like we use that thing every single, the reason she couldn't use it for school is that she had to be able to fit a folder into her backpack. The stuff she has to take to school are a change of clothes, including shoes, a water bottle, and this folder that she has to take back and forth every day. So it had to be able to fit, and that would totally not fit in the mini size. But I didn't want to make the regular size because the regular size is like regular for an adult. It definitely would be too big for her. So I found the folder size, like the common US folder size, and went off of that. And I think these are usually 9 by 11. So I made it 9.5 by like 11.5 or 9.25 by 11.25. Plus it's 4 or 5 inches. Plus it's 4 inches deep. So enough space in there. The other thing I did differently from the Making Backpack pattern is that I made cushion straps for her. On the Making Backpack, it's just webbing. The webbing attaches up here and just goes all the way down. There are adjustable rings. It has you do adjustable hardware, but it's all webbing. I wanted her to have comfy little straps. So I found a template from, don't remember where, but it will be linked. And I printed it at like 60% scale and then added a seam allowance to it because I didn't like how small it was when it printed out. It was like midnight. I was just winging this, you guys. But I think the scale turned out really nicely. And when she wears it, it fits her body really, really well. It's like a little big. This is definitely larger than her torso, but not by much. When I saw some kids on the first day of school, like almost dragged over by their backpacks, I was really glad I was able to make this for her and make it the perfect size, because some, like, they just don't make backpacks for kids this small because it's not a super common thing to need and they grow so fast, like yada yada, all the reasons. But I was able to make the perfect size backpack for my daughter. It has all of her personality on it, and it's going to be fun, I think, over the next couple of years to add a little more to it. And I'm sure when she starts like real school, kindergarten, we'll be doing something else. But I do think we'll be able to add some more patches. So that is her backpack. So that was the first thing I accomplished in the wee hours of September 1st or September 2nd. The other sewing thing I accomplished was that I finally finished my standing tall quilt. Ah, yay! So over a year ago, So Sarah Sews and Teresa from Lost My Thread, Sarah from So Sarah Sews, and Teresa from Lost My Thread hosted a quilt along for the Standing Tall Quilt, which is a free pattern from Cedar Quilt Co., which is owned and designed by the same Helen of Helen's Closet. And it is Jelly Roll friendly and it's free. So they had dates set for everything and a reveal date and all that stuff. And wow, I did not meet that, but I don't think a lot of people did, to be fair. This is my quilt. I had finished the quilt top last fall, maybe at the beginning of this year, and I had it all basted and ready to sew. And I started quilting it, and I basically just did random right-ish angles. Like, I didn't measure them out or anything. I would just like go for a little bit. You can see it turn, and like nothing was straight, nothing was drawn down. It was whatever. I did about a third of it and was like, oh, I think I hate this. So let me set it aside for a little bit. And I sat it aside for many months. And finally I decided this is a scrap quilt. All of the fabric in it, including all of these whites, as you can see, are scraps. There were some things, these kind of things, came from a Joann's Jelly Roll that I got from my mom. Now, Joann's Jelly Rolls are only 20 strips. So the rest was supplemented with all kinds of random scraps I had, like glittery space stuff, things that kind of went with this color scheme I was going for. The back is an old flannel sheet of mine that I had just in my stash waiting for its moment. So I decided the wonky quilting kind of fit with the whole vibe of this, and I would rather have it be done than just sitting as a quilt sandwich. So I did it. I finished it. I bound it. It's imperfect, but you know what? We have already sat under it so much. We've watched movies under it. We've cuddled together. When my daughter goes, I'm chilly, I'll be like, oh, do you want the quilt? So it has fit its purpose. It is wonderful. It is done, which I'm so happy about. Yay. Speaking of quilts, I am doing a murder mystery quilt along this year. So it is a mystery block every month, and the thing about it is that there's a murder mystery to go with it. So you get a chapter every month with your quilt block. There are almost always multiple options of what you want to do with the block. Some months there are not. It is just this general type of thing. This is the third one that we have had that is generally like this. They're not all identical. That plays into the mystery. But they're generally this kind of thing. The theme this year is murder at Machu Picchu, so everything is Incan inspired. Is kind of the background of it. This is August's block, so I'm 1 month behind. I need to do September's, and we're about to get October's, so I do need to catch up with that. But I did do August's in September. I'll get back on track. I do think I'm gonna finish all 12 of them like before the end of the year. When December comes out, if I'm behind still at that point, I will sit down and just do them all so that I can have them all done and assemble the quilt top. I'm going to do a whole review on this, I think, at the end of the year, because I have mixed feelings about whether it's worth it or not. I've enjoyed it, but also, I don't know. I have to sit down and think about my feelings, and I want to get all the way through to the end. I've just been thinking about it because signups for next year are open or opening soon. So I've just been thinking about if I don't think I'm going to do it again, but that doesn't mean I don't recommend it if you haven't done it. So I don't know. Let me know if you'd be interested in a review, because this is a very fun idea and I have enjoyed it. So I don't know. It's a separate video. So that is all of my sewing as my hair continues to tumble out. What are we doing? That is all of my sewing. Cross stitch, I'm not even going to touch on. I pretended cross stitch did not exist. Like the first couple of days of the month, I'm sure I did some cross stitching, but I had these plans of like, oh, in this one, I'm going to do 100 stitches a day to get it, well, whatever. Then I cast on a new knit. I tried so hard to resist, but I had to cast on my stripe hype. I bought the yarn for this last year or around the new year because I knew I wanted to make it this year. And I was waiting till the weather cooled down, which is silly because I don't knit that fast. Usually. We will see some progress in a moment. But I was just waiting. I was putting it off. I was like, I have other stuff I need to finish, blah, 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 blah. But then Sarah, again from So Sarah Sewed, showed her stripe pipe. She knitted up and I was like, now I have to see what my colors look like because she chose different colors for the stripes. The cool thing is you get to choose your own colors. So I have gone with kind of a primary, well, a color wheel type of palette. And this is where I'm at, you guys. I showed this in my day in the life vlog that I put out last week, but we have made some progress. Like, look at it. I have one more row to do of my creamish, whitish color. And then I have obviously 2 more red stripes with their matching white stripes and then the ribbing at the bottom. And then it'll just be collar and sleeves and we're done. So like, I will actually be able to wear this when it gets cold if I don't get off track and stop working on it. If I stay focused on it, like I have been, it's a really fun knit. If I stay focused on it, I will be able to actually wear this when it gets cold because it's still not cold here. So I'm so excited and it's looking so good. It is on my Ravelry. I have all of the yarns linked. They are all different shades of Knit Picks Cotlin yarn. And I think I'm making a size, I don't remember what the sizing is. This is, I don't know, like the 5th or 6th size. It's on my Ravelry. So I will link that. And I am just loving it. It's so fun. The stripes are at the perfect intervals. It's every 8 rows. And so it's just the perfect intervals to switch and then see it come together. And actually, now that I'm in this 3rd color, we're working the decreases also. So it's so fun. I've been knitting on it a little bit every day. I did slow down quite a bit when I first started the red because I was really doubting my color choice. When I was looking at, you know, just a row or 2 of red next to this purple, I was like, oh no, I made mistakes. Oh no, I messed up. But I decided to keep going with it and at least finish 1 stripe. My plan was I was going to finish 1 of the red stripes and then put these stitches on hold and do 1 of the sleeves to see how I like the colors because the sleeves have 2 different colors for the stripes. And I did not do that clearly because I decided I do like the red. Once I saw the whole red stripe, I was like, oh, I'm into that. And the reason I say I have a color wheel type palette is that I have blue, purple, and red. Red and blue make purple. And then on the sleeves, I'm going to have yellow and green. When I laid it out, I had green, yellow. So then that would be, you know, blue and yellow make green. But I was thinking about it last night as I was supposed to be falling asleep. And I might do yellow, green. But I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm going to keep going. Obviously, I'm going to keep going. And yeah, I think I can legitimately finish this by the time it gets cold. Now, where I live, it does not get cold until like December. So we've got time. But I'm so excited with my progress on this. I only cast this on like the 7th of September or something like that. And it is now the 2nd of October. So a little bit less than a month. This is fast knitting for me. Like I said, I pretended none of my other ancillary hobbies existed. No cross stitch, no other knitting projects. But like, it's worth it to see all this progress. It's very satisfying. So that is my stripe hype. I want to go sit down and knit on it now. And then the last thing I have to talk about in my video today is I listened both a lot this month. I was trying to think why I went through so many books. Some were shorter and some were, well, a lot were while my daughter was at school. So my routine has been to drop her off and then immediately go for a run. And then I just kind of like, I listen to books while I run, and then I just listen on the way home and then keep listening while I do my chores or sew or whatever I'm doing that morning until I go pick her up. So that like really opened up a lot more listening time for me. It's really hard for me to narrow these down, but I'm going to do my best. I'm going to try to only mention a couple of books and be very brief about them. My story graph is listed below. That is the program that I use to track and rate my reading. because it is not Amazon affiliated. It is an independent company, independent program. So I use that, and I just use the free version, and I really, really like it. I started off the month really strong with a 5-star read. This was Bright Burning Things by Lisa Harding. It is about a single mother who has a young son and is an alcoholic. And it is about her internal fight and her fight to become sober so that she can be a responsible mother for her child. It was just really good. I don't know how to say other than that. It was just really good. It was very emotional, obviously, as you would suspect with the nature of the subject matter. But it was heartwarming, warming, and like you see how hard she's trying and how much she does care. And it's just another example of the disease that is addiction. The next really good book I read was I Let You Go by Claire McIntosh. It's one of her older books, but I love everything Claire McIntosh writes. She's written a lot of like mystery type thriller stuff more recently. I believe she used to be a police officer, if I'm correct. Before that, she also wrote a lot of like emotional stuff. I think she still does more just like literary fiction, I guess you would call it. I've read some of those books also. She has a really heartbreaking backstory in that she lost a child. Not lost, I hate that. We don't lose people, we know where they go. One of her, like her child passed away. And she does tie that into one of her books that I read previously and just like sobbed the whole time, which is what I like in books, I guess. Just take from that what you will about my personality, but I do like that in books. I like a really emotional response. So anyway, Claire McIntosh, love everything she does. This one is about a young child who is hit by a car. That I almost stopped reading. It is how the book opens, is that it's a hit and run and this child is killed. It's a 5-year-old, and I almost had to stop reading. But I stuck with it because I know that Claire, like, she wouldn't write that lightly, you know, knowing what she has been through. She wouldn't just like use that as a plot point and leave it be. So I stuck with it, and it her twists are good. I really like Claire McIntosh's twists. You start to put it together right when you're supposed to be putting it together, in my opinion. So that was really, really good. Then I read The 57 Bus, which is a really quick read about a very interesting topic, nonfiction. It is about a person who was wearing a skirt and was set on fire on a public bus in California in the mid 2010s, I want to say, if I remember right. You guys, I read this like weeks ago and I don't remember exactly, but it was 2 teenagers. The teenager who was set on fire was agender, appeared male to other people, and was wearing a skirt. Then the person who set them on fire was another teenager who was with some friends, a Black teenager from a lower income level part of town. This was in Oakland, and was kind of egged on by his friends to set this agender teenager on fire. It is told from both of their perspectives, which is so interesting. It also pulls in like some interviews of people around them, some social media stuff that they and their friends had posted. And it's just told, it is told in these like very, very short snippets, these small vignettes, I guess is how I would say it, where like they'll talk to this counselor at school that knew the, I don't want to say arsonist, but the Black teenager, knew him in school and what he was coming from and his perspective, and then his mom, and then the agender teenager's mom, all of that. So it tells it from all his different perspectives, including both of the teenagers and stuff. And it really is not a story about hate crime, which is what it was tried as, but it is a story about forgiveness and understanding, and it talks a lot about the juvenile justice system. and the reform needed there and everything, but it was told so beautifully for something that was this like horrendous, sad crime to a person, was told beautifully, and just the forgiveness in it was beautiful. So highly recommend that. Quick read, very impactful, very interesting. Back to the fiction side of things, I also talked about this in my day in the life vlog that I put out last week. It was Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone, and it is by Benjamin Stevenson. It's so good. Good up until the very end. It is part of a series, and I already have the second book checked out on my Libby shelf along with like 13 other books. And it was so good. It's the narrator is a writer. He writes crime. He writes how-tos about how to write crime. He like self-publishes 10 ways to write the best murder thriller type of books. He says he sells inspiration more than he sells actual information. And he goes through all the members of his family and how they have either intentionally or accidentally killed people and everything that has happened. And at the same time, they are trying to solve a murder at this little ski chalet they're staying at. And more people are dying as they're solving it. It's like very Agatha Christie type stuff. It's fun. So I'm really excited to read the second one. Final book, 5 stars. This was such a good month. I don't hand out 5 stars a lot. I just had a really good month. When the Cranes Fly South by Lisa Ridson. This was highly recommended by Frederick Bachman, who is probably my #1 favorite author, if not top ranked, but I'm going to go ahead and say he's my favorite. I love Frederick Bachman. He wrote like Man Called Ova, Anxious People, Beartown, that whole series. Love My Friends is his latest book that came out this summer. He's a very polarizing author. Like people either love him or hate him. I love his books and consume them all with such joy. He highly recommended this book, When the Cranes Fly South. It's by another Swedish author and was translated recently into English. And it follows this elderly man whose wife is in a dementia home. He has this dog named Sixten, who is like his only companion. He has a grown son that he does not have a great relationship with. He did not have a great relationship with his father, and because of that didn't have like an awesome relationship with his mom. Like it was, they didn't spend as much time together as they would have without his dad in the picture. Anyway, but as he is approaching death, he's thinking about all these relationships and he's trying to repair them. His best friend is really important in his life, and he thinks back on a lot of their memories together. And he's just kind of looking back on life. And at the same time, you're seeing like his body failing, both from his perspective, and then interspersed are like notes from his caretakers, because he has a caretaking team that comes multiple times a day. And they're little notes about like how he's doing, what he's talking about, things like that. And you're seeing these two different perspectives, but you're seeing how his mind is still so cognitive, is still working so well, and he's still thinking about all these things from way past. But then he'll admit like, oh, I don't have any memory of that. That went a long time ago. It's just an interesting perspective. I don't think a lot of books are written from the perspective of someone on their deathbed or nearing death, but it is thought-provoking and very worth the read. And once again, emotional and sad, because that's apparently what I like to read. And thrillers. But that does it for the books I read this month. Yeah, in terms of life, we got into a really good routine this month with my daughter being in school and us like just settling into a routine and not traveling anymore. We were out of town a lot over the summer for various reasons, so it has been really nice to just be home and have a routine. That is all we've been up to. It's been really quite lovely. That does it for this video. I will see you guys next week when I talk more in depth about my cozy loungewear set and the coordinating activewear that goes with it. Let me know in the comments down below what you got up to in September, and if you've read any good books lately. I am always looking for more recommendations, because why not? I don't have enough books on my Libby shelf. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys down in the comments. Bye.